Today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look over Zillow's 2023 home price predictions. All of this is going to come from an article written on fortune.com that I will have linked below. And I want you to tell me what your thoughts are. So we're going to go over some of the quotes that I've pulled from this article and talk about what's important and what is helpful to glean from it. Let's talk about Zillow's 2022 predictions. I'm going to read some sections of the article to you now, and I want you to track with me. Amid the frenzied spring home buying season, Zillow made a bold call. It predicted that the pandemic housing boom would see U.S. home prices soar another 17.8% between February of 2022 and February of 2023. Of course, just weeks later, the pandemic housing boom began to fizzle out. Each forecast since Zillow slashed its 12-month home price lookout. In April, Zillow revised it down to 14.9%. In May, it was revised down to 11.6%. In July, to 7.8%. In August, to 2.4%. And in September, it was revised down to 1.2%. So as the market has slowed down, their projections have decreased. That makes a lot of sense. However, this week, and this was written on October 15th, Zillow finally stopped revising its 12-month outlook downward. Over the coming 12 months, Zillow now expects U.S. home values to rise 1.4%. That's important to take note of. So let's talk about Zillow's fall of 2022. On the screen, we have a map from the Lance Lambert article on fortune.com, and it is detailing what Zillow expects to happen in the next 3 months, from September of 2022 until December of 2022. He writes, in total, Zillow expects home values to fall in 118 regional markets in the final 3 months of 2022. It expects 747 markets to post rising home values and 29 markets to remain flat. And as you can see there on the screen, if you're watching the full video, in Louisville/Jefferson County, and actually including parts of southern Indiana, they are predicting a 0.8% appreciation of home values through the end of this year. So what about next year? The shift. This is how regional home values are expected to shift over the coming year, according to Zillow. Heading into 2023, Zillow predicts the home price correction will lose steam in some markets while it picks up steam in other places. Nationally, Zillow expects 271 markets to post falling home values between September of 2022 and September of 2023, while 607 markets post rising values and 19 markets remain flat. In Louisville, they expect prices to appreciate over the next year by 1.1%. The article goes on. It says, why does Zillow think the home price correction won't go national? Here's their big point. It boils down to tight supply. They say a pullback in demand, and this is from Zillow researchers, a pullback in demand has pushed prices downward, but while the housing market isn't nearly as tight, meaning as competitive, as it was earlier, a lack of for sale listings is providing some support for prices against further declines. Active for sale inventory rose steadily through the spring and summer, but still sits nearly 40% below pre-pandemic levels. That is true. This dynamic is unlike previous housing market slowdowns that led to price declines, and persistent tight supply could insulate the market from a significant price correction, even as demand has fallen off. For instance, in the Great Recession, home value declines were accompanied/prompted by an increase in new listings, including many distressed sales. That means short sales and foreclosures. However, there has been a great deal of industry pushback on Zillow's statements here. The article goes on to say a growing chorus of research firms and banks are predicting the sharpest home price declines still await. That includes firms like Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo, Morgan Stanley, Moody's Analytics, Capital Economics, Zonda, Zelman & Associates, Fannie Mae, and John Burns Real Estate Consulting. And they have a quote from them there that says, the longer that mortgage rates stay elevated, our view is that housing is going to continue to feel it and have this reset mode. And the affordability resetting mechanism right now that has to happen is on home prices. And so there are a lot of markets across the country where we're forecasting that home prices are going to fall double digits. Then they say only CoreLogic and the Mortgage Bankers Association agree with Zillow that we won't see a year-over-year decline in U.S. home prices in 2023. So what? So here's where we are. The first thing is that we are seeing higher interest rates. We can definitely expect to see higher rates through next year, through the beginning part at least. We have heard pretty confidently that rates will continue to rise until next April. Again, of course, we can't say that for certain, but we have pretty good confidence that that's what's going to happen. Because of that, for-sale homes are sitting for longer. Decreased buyer demand has caused listings to sit on the market for substantially longer. In our market, compared to last September, we saw homes sitting for about 25% longer, from 22-ish days to 28-ish days on average. That's also meaning that home prices are reducing, and we're seeing that in our market. Not drastically yet, but we are seeing some price reductions, more than we had seen over the last couple of years. The primary decision-making factor for most buyers is their monthly payment. Either rates or prices must decrease to improve housing affordability. And rates are not going to increase anytime soon without any sort of additional buy downs. And those can be paid for by the seller, but they are additional costs that are accrued. So the real million-dollar question that we have to face here is, will price reductions outpace low inventory? You see, you've got a couple of different people here. You have people that say that low inventory is staving off a crash in prices because despite buyer demand being low and seeing some price reductions, there aren't enough for sale listings to affect the property values of your home that is not on the market as a whole. The other side is saying that we may see rates increase at such a rate that the price reductions that happen are so drastic compared to where prices are right now that you may see massive waves caused by that. You may see prices drop significant amounts, even though maybe only one house in the neighborhood has had a massive price reduction. That's what the other side is saying. What you need to know is that you need to have a plan for what you're going to do. If you're thinking about buying or if you're thinking about selling, you need to make a plan. And that's why I created a free guide to help you do that. And I'm going to have a link to that below. There's going to be a video and a print version to help you remove the worry from your relationship with real estate and answer all of the questions that you need to answer in order to confidently make a decision. Not trying to sell you on buying or selling, trying to help you take ownership of your life.